Hi, Cancer. This is your Aquarius season reading for February 2024. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended version to this reading. All right, we already have cards falling out. Oh, we'll leave it. Yeah, okay. All information is below. Give it about 24 to 48 hours. And we'll start with the cards. First is the Seven of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. You may be moving on. You may be taking what you've learned and putting it forward into something new. It may be a thought process that had worked for maybe the hive or the collective or that certain group that you were already in. And now there's a shift happening in your energy. There's a shift happening within your mind. Aquarius season is a fixed season. So you may be, for some of you, may be fixated on like how to make new money, how to take what you've learned and, produce something where you can be independent, perhaps, where you can surround yourself too with your kind of luxuries, pleasures, support. It's like you're ready for this new window of opportunity. Well, at the same time, you're almost holding too closely, it looks like, the attachment to the outcome. The truth is that at first you have to really walk away emotionally. You have to leave behind what is no longer not only serving you, but like really makes sense or has purpose in how you're moving forward. Does that always matter? No, but right now it looks like it does. Or maybe just in another way, it's like the sooner you finally move on mentally, even if you're so accustomed to a certain thought process, if it's worked for you, especially if it's worked for generations, maybe it's something that's been passed down or within your field, something that's been instilled with you, maybe even it was instilled within you maybe about like 7 years ago. Right, and we're gonna talk about Pluto a little bit, of course, as well. So if you have a Cancer ascendant, Pluto would most likely be shifting through your 8th house. Yes. That's like the change in how you think in the world. How funny. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that before. Interesting. We love it. We love it. The one thing you don't want to do, though, is surround yourself with things because you have, or people, or do things because you have nothing to do or nothing better to do. It's kind of like default. You also don't want to fall into that trap. Also, you may provoke people when you decide to move on. It could be easy for you to find yourself pulled into drama easily, of course. It could be a part of the process too, like, of course, because if you're missed enough or you're loved enough, right? Some people may find that to be like they can't find that anywhere else, or don't believe they can find that or feel that within themselves in order to carry forward. And then there are those others who can fall back into, well, if you're fighting for me, maybe I am worth it. Maybe it is worth it. Maybe. I just think it's keeping you from becoming more of who you're supposed to be. And that's like kind of the overarching theme that I'm feeling in this Aquarius season. And then the emphasis in Aquarius, because Pluto's just shifted the same day, extra emphasis on doing what's best for yourself, because honestly, most likely it's what's best for everyone else. Because if you do what's best for yourself in a way that is true, as clear as you can get to the truth, it teaches other people how to be themselves. Because when we enable others or are just unequally in relationships, we can find that there could be, this imbalance within yourself and your needs, and that can come out in so many different ways. Maybe, how you grew up or what you've been taught said the opposite. A lot of times when that happens, it's because eventually we're meant to find our way out, right? When we're no longer needing that kind of maybe protection in our lives. And if you leaving is causing a rift in any kind of way, whether it's you moving on again emotionally, the moment you check out emotionally, or you decide and, maybe you're physically still in this position, but you're no longer letting it get to you, right? If someone's provoked by that, I would definitely have a reassessment with that person. That's just my advice, because it's your life. Notice where their stresses are and how it adds to it, and that's probably, especially if it's about money, Cancer, if you're not making more money but you're an asset to help others make more money, then what's your incentive? Incentive's a good word for you right now. You bring a lot to the table. But I did hear, interestingly enough, I don't know how true it is, and I'm just saying this because it's interesting, that some employers would keep people who are suggestible, agreeable, more so over people who are someone who's really good at what they do and is really dramatic. To too much of an extent. And I could see that. I don't think bosses like having stress on their hands unless it's stress they want to deal with, right? So just notice that, and then maybe notice the opposite in any situation in your life. You go through this month, right? Towards the end, coming around to it. You may feel more in control, way more easy, maybe even more fluid. Like, as interesting as it is, the shift that you're making is creating more fluidity in your life as of right now. You navigate, you may be navigating, right? And understanding where to put your focus. You may have found more energy within yourself day to day. You're noticing I'm not so tired at night, or usually when I would be tired, or I have been tired, and now that I'm finally moving through things, my body's readjusting and I'm able to use more energy. Or maybe you got your vitals checked, and maybe you're supplementing, or maybe you're just doing what you need for yourself. And then all of a sudden opportunities start to come in, your focus gets to shift, and that's when you have to remember to continue to focus on your body and not get overtaken by the ego. I think it's really, so some people's ego is in how their body looks and whatnot. That's where they put a lot of weight in that part of their body, or in that part of their life, right? And sometimes it's about opportunities. Everybody has different places where they want to feel more, or where they emphasize that more in their life. And I think with you guys, sometimes you can come to that place, right? So it's that question within yourself to realize that your body is what keeps you grounded, you being able to focus on it and realize that it's a constant shift, it's constant change in relationship. That's what I think keeps you so clear and able to assess situations. And when you're not doing that for yourself, just notice the difference. Maybe there is none, maybe I'm making this up, I don't feel like I am, but just notice, especially as we go through Pisces season with all these Aquarius placements about to shift. We're doing this before. For some reason, I have a lot of energy and emphasis with all these Capricorn placements. We haven't started to make that shift, you know, into Aquarius. Pluto and the Sun, and it's giving us time. The 5th through the 18th is where we begin to shift into more Aquarian placements. What I feel water signs know, you can feel, or what where your intuition comes from, why being in the body is so important with this Tower moment, is because you're feeling, what you're being guided to is to feel that, because you're going to sense a change coming before it happens. And it's really, really important for you to be well energized for this. It's like the balance of it all, Cancer, right? I'm like, yes, once you get your focus, things are starting to shift, opportunities are starting to come, you're starting to feel stronger, and then this Tower moment happens. It's funny because the Fool almost came up before and we have it here. Yeah. Because you feel deep in your bones, underneath all this skin, within everything and the textures around us, the electricity, the waves, you feel the risk you're about to take. It's always groundbreaking, earth-shattering, especially for those of us that are around you. So I feel like that this Tower moment is coming as no surprise to you, maybe to others, because you're finally ready to experience this abundance, and not to do it stupidly. But I think for a lot of you feel a lot more rooted in your faith and trusting whatever you're being guided to experience at this time. You may be driven to more experiences or more risk-taking opportunities, right? This is what changes. Your routine starts to change up a little as well, and it may be really good for you, because these risks are external. They're not just internal. This has started internal because you've questioned maybe where you've come from or where you've been for the past, as long as a decade, where you've been mentally, where you've been financially, where you've been achieving, and then where you're ready to experience new, and what you're willing to do for it, and how your body feels now. Ultimately, this could just be a really big freedom within yourself, and therefore it is easier to take risks. But again, we want to come back to be grounded about it. You don't want to do anything stupid just because you feel so free and good. And like, if someone checks in, is like, are you sure? Like, just be careful what happened last time. Check in. Don't just ignore the signs. Don't ignore the protection, especially if it's from people who care about you, or yes, from a reliable source. Check in with the moment. And it's okay to be like, oh, actually, this isn't what's best right now. It's okay to lose a little in order to gain more. Just saying, it's okay to be warned. For a lot of you, it's this risk in like, okay, I'm walking away from maybe being this loyal relationship. I do think this has to do more with work. Someone, company, doesn't matter what you've been loyal to, and now that your body is adjusted, there's something about this shift that's happened with your body. I think this may be a big month really for you, where finally something makes its way to your head or to your awareness, where you're like, oh yeah, like it's time to move on. And it's almost like effortless for you. But again, the responses that you get around you, probably not going to be the same, unfortunately, Cancer. And then just notice who rides for you, who's willing to be like, oh damn, but then also like happy for you or supportive of you. It also might give you some validation that maybe you're making the right choice too. I think most importantly, it's giving you this ability to lead from your heart. Because your body's maybe more secure, feels more protected, and now you're able to experience life in a way that feels more like an adventure. That it doesn't matter if you're just beginning new or if you got a promotion. Either way, you're still starting new and in a different position than you once were in. And you find a source of abundance within that. And you realize you can implement that into your life in a way that is fully supportive of where you're going and who you are. And of course, you'll notice people want to really be around you right now. You may want to play around, and especially if you know why they want to be around you, you may want to utilize that for your own fun. But really, I think that will just confuse the purity of what's happening. So the advice is being yourself. Being in control of what you can be. And notice what changes in response to that and how you respond. Because I don't think anyone wants to be on the other end of that right now. Not even you. Okay, Cancer, we'll see you right in the next part. I'm very curious about this. I'll see you there.